Welcome back to Off the Rack Rebellion, the podcast where we talk about everyday finds and how to incorporate them into your everyday cosplays. Hello, Billy. How are you?
What's up? I'm all right. How's it going?
Oh, technical difficulties. I'm rolling.
We're good now. We're good now.
Hello. We're good now, as long as I don't bump anything. Oh, it's good to see you. I have been thinking so much about our last episode and just all the details that we went through on those
Yeah,
Andor looks, and just what a treasure trove this show is.
yeah.
Mm.
Well,
Oh,
there was a little bit of information that came out. I think like today, someone was posting images of some of the props, and I think that this might have been at Lucasfilm.
yeah.
They had sort of glass display
Mhm.
cases with things in them. I think that's what it is.
Okay.
And there was one there was one in there, and I forget actually what it was, but something from Gorman. Oh, it
Okay.
was just a model of a spider, like the ones that
Oh
they sell
yeah,
in the square, right?
I want those.
But it was open, had its little like butt open.
Yeah.
And blink and you'll miss it. It had the little rolled up message that's in there. So
Oh, it was in there.
confirmed
It's
it is
paper.
fabric.
Oh, it's fabric.
It's
Oh my god.
fabric.
Which is
Yeah.
such a great detail to be
Yeah.
like these garment makers wrote it on fabric
Yeah.
or
You could tell there's a weave in it. It's a very
yeah,
coarse, like kind of weird. It almost looks like they used like a canvas, like a
like
canvas for
canvas. So
for
then is it
painting or whatever.
stitched? Is the message stitched or is it
No, it looks like it's
written?
printed.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
printed. Okay. Oh
Or it
my,
could be written, yeah, but it's over top. It's
yeah,
not like
it's over top. It's
embroidered
not.
or
Okay,
anything.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But
Okay, I'm gonna
yeah,
start
because they don't
writing pen pals with fabric
don't
scraps.
really show it. They don't really show it in the episode. You can't really
Yeah,
see it. You just see them kind of like unroll it
yeah,
and read it. But
yeah.
it's not paper. You know,
Right. Oh
it's
my gosh,
it's,
that's
it's
amazing.
still you have to have paper. Um,
One of those
I
spiders would be such a cool prop to have around your house. Sorry, half my house
yeah.
is Halloween and half my house is Star Wars, and this real weird, and there's some pirate stuff. So it's this real weird, just you know,
I feel like that's the
collage of
middle
stuff.
is the
And that's
pirate
the
stuff.
middle is that little
Yeah, and
spiders.
Gorman now. Yeah.
Yeah, it brings it all together. It ties it in. I need a spider. Oh,
What I love about that little message is that like and a lot of the stuff in the show, just to sort of like vamp on the show for a little bit,
yeah,
like
yeah,
there's a lot of like old spy stuff, right? And when I
yeah.
say old spy stuff, it's like Cold World spy
Cold
stuff.
War
It's like
stuff.
it's
Yeah,
it's like rolled up, it's like little messages hidden in the thing.
yeah,
It is lights on and off in the distance,
mhm,
to
yeah,
signal like a meeting and
yeah,
things like that. And it's I know I've
yeah.
talked about it before, but I watched this show called The Bureau, which is a
Oh,
French show. I think they remade it in the States. It's garbage. Like it's trash. But I guess it's like more exciting or whatever. But I like my spy stuff very like I hate I don't like using this word, but there's like no real way to describe it. But I like my spy stuff real
yeah.
sneaky and boring, like
Okay.
because
Yeah.
it should be
Oh,
ordinary and in
yeah.
like plain sight. You
I
know,
I see what you mean. I get that.
yeah, it should be
Yeah.
dead drops. It should be an
Mhm.
envelope left somewhere. It should be something left under a chair, and then someone else comes and gets that thing from
Oh,
under
I
the
love
chair.
that.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it isn't like breaking code ciphers and things like that. It's
Right.
literally passing notes.
Right.
And
Oh, yeah.
one of the things that they use, which is like whatever that story, it's not ruining anything for you, but it's there's some old world spies in there, and they still do stuff very old world, and it's like it's leaving little slips in library books
Yes.
in
Oh, I
the
love
spine of
that.
library books. So you just have to know, like, or you're communicated
Book.
to what book to check
Yep.
out, or what like card catalog code to check out, and then the message is there. Anyway,
I love that
I
because
love
as
that
a
stuff.
kid, I always, because I don't know how libraries are set up in schools these days. I should know this, but like
Yeah.
that card catalog and like the
Yes.
cubbies that you would pull out and
Yeah.
even as a kid, I was always like, I want to find like a secret note. And I want to
Yes.
right? Like I had
Yeah.
an overactive imagination even as a kid. I
Yeah,
should
of
have thought to
course.
do something like that for like my friends or something, but I never did. But like
But yeah,
kids
that's
don't
like
have that these
legit.
days.
Yeah. It's spy stuff, or even like turning on and off of a thing. But it makes sense. Roy, with like there's a few things that will we yeah, we'll see in this
Hmm.
episode. Oh, I should
Yeah.
say, like, this will be a visual episode. Everyone
Yes. Oh
asks me
yeah.
every week. I don't know if they've been asking you, but they're like,
Mm,
"Do I need to watch YouTube?" And I'm like, "Well,
yeah.
maybe, sort of. Yeah, you
Don't you
should."
just love to hear the sound of our voices? What can we do?
I think we try to be as descriptive as possible,
We
right?
do,
Like,
yeah, we try, but it definitely
but
enhances. But I mean, if you got a long ride, you may as well just
yeah,
listen
there's
through the
just
time
so
you're talking
much
about.
stuff to cover. Like,
There
so
is, yeah,
I think the visuals are necessary for
yeah.
these particular ones. Maybe we'll do like in the future episodes, like, like kind of what we did with season one, which we haven't really finished, but
I know
but
there's
maybe
so much
we'll.
to
I
talk
know.
about.
Maybe we'll just look at Gorman, and then it'll be
Yeah.
easier to just sort of say,
Hmm.
like, because everyone will have that idea in their
Hmm.
heads already of what that looks like. But
Yeah,
anyway,
totally. So anyway, we
yeah,
should launch into some photos, I suppose.
we should,
So if
right?
you're
Let's take
just
a look.
listening, close your eyes, imagine what we're talking about.
Close your eyes and imagine.
Yeah.
Some of these, because of the way that the arcs work, right? We're doing episode by episode, but it's really like every 3 episodes, things kind of change, right?
Hmm.
Not only in time, but also people will wear different things and things like that. So we're at episode 6, which is the end of the second arc. So this will get shorter and shorter with examples because we've talked about a lot of the costumes that are in these
Hmm.
episodes already. So
Hmm.
I've only pulled stuff that seems new, or there's something else to,
Okay. Great.
some other detail or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this episode is called, what is it called? What a Festive Evening. This is that Senator's Gala
Hmm.
is the main sort of focus of this, but we go everywhere. We see a bit of Gorman. We see a bit of Yavin, I believe, maybe.
Did we do that
Um,
yet? I can't
oh, I
remember.
don't know if we do, but we'll get
Yeah,
there.
yeah, we'll get there.
We
We'll
do
get there.
see Gorman. We do see a few things, but this starts off with Luthen being an angry dad. There's a lot of moms and dads in this episode, I've
Mhm.
decided. But the angry dad picking up Cassian.
You're
Because
grounded,
Cassian,
mister.
yeah, Cassian has said, like, these people are not ready.
Yeah.
Like, the Gorman are not ready. The Gore are not ready to fight.
Hmm.
Like, something bad's gonna happen. And Luthen picks him up, all angry, in the Fondor, which is his ship. It's the
Hmm.
only time I think we see it in season 2. Um, and I picked this out because it's the the one time where there's a bright light on him. There's a very
Yeah.
bright
He's
light on
always in the
Luthen.
shadows.
And you could get a better look at his like coat that he's been wearing,
Mhm.
when he meets up in Coruscant. So when he's like, wig is off, the lace front is off,
Mhm.
the jewels are put away. This is the coat that he wears, and this is that leather trim that I've been seeing all over the
Yeah.
Coruscant costumes.
'Cause you can see that little shining line.
Yeah, and there's kind of a which makes total sense, but I do believe Vel and Cinta also kind of have this like look of like all black with these like leather trims.
Mhm.
And of course, those are his two, like, those were his right hands, right?
Yeah,
Well, it's
totally.
Clay, of course, but like,
Yeah, yeah. But like those are his folks in the field that his go-to.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we've seen this, right? We've seen
Yeah.
this coat, right? So let's go to the next slide here.
The
I
tank
pulled this.
top.
There we go. I
Woo!
pulled this for
So
you. Yeah.
happy.
Tank top. Yeah. We see these a lot, right? We see these a
Everybody
lot.
going to Batu in July.
There you
Rejoice.
go. Well, I mean, we've seen tank tops, right? Weren't there? Oh, it was a sleeveless kind of t-shirt situation that Luke has under his flight suit,
Yeah.
right? That we see
Yeah,
for a
he's kind of
split
got like
second.
that muscle cut shirt, right? Like,
Right. Which is
yeah,
just really
yeah.
just a
And then
boxier kind of
we
tank top, right?
saw one in the Acolyte and
We did.
shorts, I want to point out,
Yeah.
like, which was really
Yeah.
another like, yes. I mean, they're
Were
supposed to
they
be pajamas, but
underwear?
whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
Were they
kind of like her
underwear?
pajamas. Yeah,
Yeah.
underwear pajamas. Yeah, I know what, but still, they exist.
Yeah.
But yeah, this dress
For
down at
purpose.
home look,
For purpose.
yeah,
Right. They
but I
exist
love
as
this.
pajamas, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm a fan of rolling down my flight suit and tying the sleeves around my waist and just going with my tank top that's underneath. And
Yeah, you
I
have a
think
twee,
that's
and a lot of the twee
yeah,
community
they
uses that look a
use that,
lot.
yeah, because I think we saw those looks in the
Rebels,
Clone Wars or Rebels. Yeah, yeah, we saw them there, but
Hera, right?
yes, yeah, I think
Yeah,
so. Well, at least some of the Twi'leks I know that we've seen. We can get into Twilight fashion. I have gone way down a rabbit hole of Twilight fashion for
yeah.
my
That would
character.
be great. Yeah,
We should.
yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, we see some interesting looks with the Twice, but
I think it's seen, right? I
yeah,
can
yeah,
confidently
yeah.
say
But
like
now,
10
like
bucks are like
now, like
good.
in the like movies and the live action, we're like, okay, it's there, it's canon, it's we
Yeah.
can be
There's
comfortable.
well, I'm sure people are waiting with bated breath, but we won't get to this until the very last two episodes of season 2 of Andor. But don't be shocked, everyone. We have discovered a t-shirt, like a straight up t-shirt.
Right?
Um, there's something very interesting about the t-shirt. I think I've identified the t-shirt.
Okay.
Like
Oh,
literally, you can go out and buy it.
you're gonna tell me first,
Considering it,
right?
yeah, of course, yeah, yeah, yeah. But we'll get to that. But
We'll get to that. We'll get to the little
just know that
teasers.
we're aware. We're aware that there's a
Oh
t-shirt.
man.
There's no need to
Oh,
send me
fantastic. Well,
messages
and I
about
feel like there is one thing to say about the Andor show is that everything felt very Star Wars, but it also felt so livable and
it.
so
Yeah,
real.
yeah.
Even the over the top stuff really felt very similar to how I felt about the costuming in Solo. I honestly thought
Okay.
that Solo did a lot
Yeah.
like it because if you look at and we'll get this when we talk about the gala, but uh, the the party that he pops into,
Hmm.
that
With
upscale
Dryden Voss,
with Dryden Voss,
Voss's
like
chip. Yeah.
if you look at screenshots of the background characters, it's a bunch of prom dresses, guys. It's not
Yeah.
anything super Star Warsy,
Yeah.
but there's just certain accessories that slant it that way. And I felt like they did an excellent job with Andor, where it's not super unusual.
Right.
It's but it does feel, it's not like Leia's long flowy white robe with a hood. Like
Right.
that's kind of like you can't really go to the grocery store and dress like that. But
Right.
like you can go to the grocery store probably dressed like Luthen and no one's gonna bat an eye, right? Like
Very true. Oh, I
so
just got these. I have to send you pictures of these
ooh,
3 jackets that I just got, and
ooh,
not that it's like very
yeah.
little, but one of them kind of is. I
Okay.
needed one for purpose,
Okay.
something light trench kind of. I
Okay.
got a sort of like a short trench style belted coat for the rain. It's like waxed
Nice.
cotton. I got it secondhand at that place, Messina
Oh
Hambry,
my
that I told
gosh.
you about.
Yes. Okay.
And I got it for, I think it was like 30 pounds. And then I got 2 other jackets for 6 pounds. And
Oh
then the
my
other one for 9 pounds. I mean, come on.
Oh my god, yes. Okay.
And they look good.
Amazing.
But anyway,
Amazing. Okay. Anyway, back to the tank top. Sorry. See, our
that's
tangents,
backstage stuff.
I love our tangents.
I just showed the other side of the conversation.
Yeah.
Here's, Cassian in his, he sort of wears this throughout
Yeah.
the this arc, really, when he's home.
Yeah. Very
Um,
wearable.
the
Not very
gala,
wearable to the grocery store right here.
not to the grocery store,
but
no.
but we should. Life is short.
There's some like amazing kind of
Yeah.
looks for Senator Mon Mothma.
Yes.
Perrin looks kind of similar. I feel like he was wearing this same
Yeah.
getup in season
He
1 at
has sort of a
home.
signature style, right?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other side of this conversation is just
Yeah.
a shot of Perrin. But yeah, I feel like we saw this same exact one. There's probably variants to it,
Mhm.
right? But very similar to
Yeah.
season 1 Perrin. Next up, we got Luthen. This is again the dad and Cassian. They're fighting. They're
Mhm.
fighting. This
He's
is
kids being reckless. What are you
yeah,
doing?
exactly. He came to the shop, right? This
How
is a
dare
sort
you?
of big thing, because I believe that's where they're communicating back and forth from. So
Mhm.
Cassian and Bix are actually staying kind of across town, really,
Mhm.
but within earshot,
Mhm.
eyesight, what eye line
Yeah. Yeah. There
of
we
the
go. Yeah.
shop, um, where where he works. This is kind of still a gallerist
Mhm.
look, but kind of after hours.
Mhm.
Okay,
Ah, your girls. You
mommy
love
and
them.
daddy, mommy and daddy get together back again, right? And these are the costumes that I'm saying that feel very Luthen, and I think
Yeah.
it's because these are his his two like jewels
Mhm.
of the rebellion. Everyone else is kind of like Cassian is kind of like reluctant and like
Mhm.
it kind of goes his own way. But these two are diehard. They
Mhm.
are at the ready. They are soldiers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's sort of you can tell that in the shoulders, right? It's the that same sort of trim, very dark.
Mhm.
I think they kind of tend towards like uh, browns in this because they're on Gorman at the
Okay.
moment, right?
Yeah.
So
So
it
it's
would
not
make
quite so
sense.
stark around the backdrop, right?
Right. So
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. They don't want to stick out too much. They want to be able to blend in, and it is something that any spy would do. Got
Mhm.
to blend in with
Exactly.
the homeworld dress. Kind of like me and Krios did when we did that video where we were on Dalna and we had to like
Yeah.
dress as the people
Yes.
there in order to slip in and slip out. Um, some aliens. I don't know. I saw some aliens. I figured I'd throw some
I
aliens in.
love it.
Everybody's
I
saying
love the
there's no
robes.
aliens.
Yeah. There's aliens.
um, we've seen. Are these aren't like Newt Gunray aliens, right? I'm sure
Oh,
people will probably scream at us in the comments. And
I'm
I couldn't
sure. Yeah,
place
please do. Yeah, because they do remind me of him now that you mentioned it.
right. I couldn't place them, but it's a similar
Yeah.
sort of cloak robe thing.
Right.
Really high neck as well. Don't
Hmm.
they have like really high neck? These sort of like
Yeah.
light brown, orangish robes. Um, very simple. I included them in. I believe that's Cinta at the very right of the frame. We'll
Oh,
get a
yeah.
better shot of her. This
There we go.
shot,
Uh-huh.
for my money, I think the most beautiful shot, most
It is
considered shot in the entire series.
absolutely. I love it.
So this is the shot that we saw in the trailer, right?
Hmm.
It is the shot through the window at the cafe, and they are positioned in a way. The window is kind of like there's like an S to it. It's a yin yang,
It's a
right?
yang
This
yang.
shot is a
Yeah.
yin yang,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
This is a straight up yin yang, which I thought was just beautifully done. And they're positioned in the right sort of, so their heads are like where the circles of the yin yang would
Hmm.
be, sort of, right? I
Hmm.
just thought this is one of the most
Yeah.
beautiful sort of visual metaphors
Yeah.
that we could
Very
gather.
artistic. Yeah.
I know, right? We get a good bag in there. It's just looks like a
Yeah.
messenger
I
bag.
know her bag is very, I kept eyeing that. I kept being like, man, that would be so easy to find or make. It's just very streamlined messenger bag.
Hmm.
I love that.
I find a lot of the bags in the show itself, but in this season, are very easy, very off the rack, very messengery,
Yeah.
sort of rectangular in shape, um, very plain, and then with stuff added on.
Yeah.
This is her. This is Cinta's silhouette. I don't know
Yeah.
why that came before the other,
It's a beautiful cut.
but it's a yeah. I mean, amazing, right?
Yeah.
Um, I don't know why this slide is before the other one because this is her walking up
No worries.
to Vel, and we see her sort of in silhouette, literally backlit as she's walking into the cafe. Long coats. They're dressed very similar to each other. I think that was on purpose.
Mhm.
Um, a beautiful long coat. And there's a moment which I think is like very now these two are my favorites. Cinta
Mhm.
is probably my favorite
Mhm.
character in Andor, and like there's a moment that and that's why I included this is that the shot that I just showed with the aliens and you see Cinta at the edge of the frame, it then cuts to Vel and you can tell that she's looking out of the cafe through a window, and she kind of like she does like a little like a
Yeah. Like a
she
little
takes it like a little sharp intake of
emotional,
breath.
yeah, breath.
Yeah, and it's just really beautiful. Like
Hmm.
I don't know, I just think like there's a lot of love there, and like you
There
could
is.
tell, and they played it so beautifully. But yeah, Um, and she sits down. But look at this. Oh, God,
I have
love,
this like
love, love, love.
double-breasted coat. Like, is that what she's
Hmm.
got? Like, oh,
Hmm.
with the really like crisp lines. It's
Hmm.
so beautiful.
I think it's the is it leather or some kind of trim, right? That makes that line even sharper, right?
It might be. It's hard to tell. I know on her cowl, she definitely has some. I
Hmm.
absolutely adore that kind of longer silhouette of a coat, but with a wrap detail, and then something chunky on top, like a big
Hmm.
hood or a big cowl, or like
Yeah.
there's just something about that balance I love.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
pull them off so well.
There's a great,
Mm-hmm.
great style point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what did I want to say about this? Oh yeah. That I was noticing that there's a lot of Vel has a lot of, and I don't know if this is like a character, something to communicate about the characters. It probably is, but Vel is kind of always in like these like sort of open collar kind of looks,
Mm-hmm.
and Cinta's always sort of like you notice this is
Oh,
a
a
double
little more
breasted, like she's
wrapped.
always kind of more closed, and I don't know if that's like a communicating their standing in their relationships. Like
Yeah.
Cinta's always a little more to task, a little more to mission. I think
Hmm.
Belle's a little more open to just sort of say like, let's run away, like let's just
Yeah,
get out of here.
I can see that.
Um, and I think that's just I just hit the table. That's just like a beautiful like point, you know.
Yeah. It definitely
Um,
helps their personalities come through, like
mhm.
in a very subtle back of your mind way that I think a lot of people aren't catching on to, but I think
Yeah.
you've got a really good point.
Yeah, because even if you think back to Aldani, where Belle is in a sort of flowy poncho with those beautiful
Hmm.
patterns, right?
Hmm.
And then Cinta has a very sort of form-fitting kind of it's not really a vest, it's almost like a V-neck,
Hmm.
very short crop. It's almost like a Mando
Hmm.
flak vest kind of
Yes. Yeah.
situation. Um, and it it feels very like constricting
It almost
and
feels
closed off, right?
corseted. It's very, yeah,
Yeah.
very structured. I know exactly what you're talking about because I love it and I want
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I love that. That's the shot that I always use when people are like, "What's your favorite character in
Yeah.
Star Wars?" And that's the one that I look for
Yep.
because she's like looks really mean,
Yeah.
and I love it. And then in season one, we see her obviously as she's getting away from the Aldani heist. She changes into like Imperial
Mm-hmm.
uniforms, which again is very closed up,
Yep.
double breasted. Like anyway, I'm
Yeah.
sure that that's
Yes.
communicated
It
something,
has to
right?
be. It has to. Yeah.
Anyway,
I
I
can
love,
see that.
I love, I die.
I burn. I find.
Yeah. Oh, this was to show the trim, but I think
Oh
you're
yeah.
right. It's in the cowl, maybe.
I think it's on the cowl on this one.
Hmm. But I think, like, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking these things. I think it's to connect them both to Lucid.
No, I think that
Yeah.
you are onto it where it's like it's that similar thread through all the looks.
Hmm.
And to show influence and to show, like you mentioned, like, he's raising money to like outfit his people, right?
Hmm.
Like, I'm sure of it. So,
Yeah. Um, I included some of the gore. Here's them, Cinta and Vel, and then some of the Gorman front.
mhm,
And they've changed into more sort of Gorman appropriate attire with those like
mhm.
vests and the mock turtle. Well, I mean, not mock turtlenecks, but
That high,
that same, yeah,
yeah, structured collar. Yeah.
yeah, and that sort of V-neck kind of
Yeah.
vesty thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, which the daughter of the designer. Another tank top.
I know. Woo! TikToks.
There we go. This is just them at home, and
Yeah.
then I believe Vel's just wearing like a vest, um, with like no
Yeah.
top, maybe a tank top underneath.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. Totally.
just thought I should show tank tops. Included this guy.
Oh.
This is some sort of senator.
Yeah, some really elaborate robes with like, I mean, those shoulders almost make, and the hat make me think of a plant. It makes me think of
Uh
leaves,
huh.
right? It's very organic.
I couldn't quite place this. species, but this is a senator, and it's very prequel
Yeah.
era, right? It's
Mhm.
the costuming. So just big shoulders, big everything. Just figured
Mhm.
it was good to include Mothma
And then
and
a contrast to Mothma, right, where it's much more streamlined like than the previous guy.
less yeah, less like, what would you call that? Less flamboyant, less
Yeah, I was gonna say,
extravagant.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And Erskine behind
Mhm.
her aide,
Mhm.
who has a like I was excited to see that this kind of whatever this is that he's wearing is open at the back, and I think it's open at the
Yeah.
front as well. So it's just kind of like well, you're a Mando now. It's kind of like a comma,
Yeah.
sort of, you
Yep.
know?
Yep. Kind of like
Yeah.
that. Totally.
And then I included, this to see all these other senators. Robes, robes, robes for days, right?
Yep.
Everyone's
Very
in
formal.
robes. Yeah. It seems like that's sort of just the decorum to sort of dress in
hmm
robes, right?
They're like very
Um,
proper and traditional. Yeah. All right. This the
and this
suit,
is Luthen's.
the
This
tux.
is Luthen's. Yeah, this is Luthen's signature look. I think this is the gallerist signature
hmm
look. He's worn it many times. He's worn it in this season a couple of times. I think he wore this to when he arrived at the wedding. I know we
hmm
didn't talk about that. I talked
Oh
with
yeah.
that with Zach, but this is what he wore. But I figured,
Yep.
if you wanted to say, this is that we see this in season
Yeah.
one as well.
Yeah.
This is the signature gallerist look. I love it. Would I
Yeah.
build it one day? Maybe, I don't know.
Ooh, getting fancy.
Bail
Um,
Organa.
yeah. I was not expecting to see him, but it makes sense to see him.
Hmm.
Like, yeah.
What do you think about? I guess. What do you think about the recast? What do you think about
I
like?
was surprised. I was a little surprised,
Yeah,
but then I was like, I don't know. Why am I forgetting the other actor's name? He was such a
Jimmy Smits.
Jimmy Smith. Thank you. I was like, God,
Yeah,
because he was in what show was he in? Was he in some like General Hospital or something like that or whatever?
I think something like that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
He's
I
done so many things.
feel like he used to be a name. Yeah. Anyway, um,
Well, he's getting
I
much
was,
older now. Yeah.
and that's why I was like, maybe he's just like where he's like too old, and they're like, that's not gonna work. But I
No, I
was
heard it was
surprised.
just a scheduling,
Oh,
just
it
a
was a scheduling
scheduling
thing. Oh,
thing.
gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha. Because I was a little surprised. I was like, oh man, what the heck?
yeah.
I was surprised, but I think this actor does a good job filling in as
Yeah.
you know, you know,
I
definitely
don't
different people. But what do
I
you think?
don't I don't mind him. I kind of like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like Benjamin Bratt's look. I think he's very um gallant. I think
mm-hmm,
he's very like, I don't know, there's a not that Jimmy Smith isn't, but
yeah,
there's just something a little more like uh almost there's a bit of danger to Benjamin Bratt
okay, okay,
that I think Jimmy Smits doesn't have. He has
okay,
sort of more of a kinder face, which I think does work well. But I
mm-hmm,
think the fact that they picked Benjamin Bratt for this show, I think, kind of fits. Like
okay.
he's starting the
He's starting the
rebellion.
rebellion. Yeah.
Yeah, there's something about like Jimmy Smits to me has aged, I think, very well.
Mhm.
I think Benjamin Bratt, not that Benjamin Bratt hasn't, but I think he's got more lines on his face, and I
Okay,
think it just works well for this
gotcha.
series. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah,
um, but yeah, what is he wearing? He's wearing a sash and probably some kind of
yeah.
similar to Perrin.
Which I thought the sash was a nice touch,
Yeah,
right? I was like, oh, there's an accessory we don't talk about much. A sash. It's
I
very
don't.
regal.
Yeah, I don't remember if I. We're gonna see a couple of sashes, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah,
But this gala is very sort of upscale, and it's everyone
yeah.
sort of everyone showing off their fineries, but also like I think their titles and
Mm-hmm.
stature.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I do believe there might be a close up, maybe. This is what um Perrin and Mon Mothma are wearing, right?
This is
What
one
would
of
you
my
say?
favorite looks of hers. It's insane. Like like the cutouts and then the amount that this chain is draped, like just
Mm-hmm.
it's so cool. I loved. And I kept
And
being
she's
like,
got almost a
"Oh."
veil, doesn't
Yeah, the
she? Like,
veil seemed
yeah.
a little out of character for her is what I didn't
Hmm.
really, but I loved it.
Yeah.
Like I love the drape.
I think she's making a statement.
Mhm.
There's a I know I included the next slide. I think is just drama, drama with this look, and But let me go back for a second because I don't think I included a close up. Bail Organa has these. There's like these little metal pieces. You do it with a pin, like an enamel pin without the enamel. Is how one would tackle it in
Okay.
the real world,
Okay.
on either side, and they look really great. I don't
Oh,
remember if
great.
I included
Is it
a.
the emblem of Alderaan, the Alderaanian, where it's kind
Oh,
of
I don't
almost
know
like
what
a
that
heart?
looks like. No,
Ooh.
no, it's
Oh,
kind of
okay.
like it's a trapezoidal
Oh, okay. Okay.
look, and it kind of mirrors the shape of the collar.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
it's pointed on one end and sort of straight on the
Okay.
other. It's a little bit burgundy squadron. Uh,
Mm.
I can't say definitively well whether Bail Organa
Somebody who
is.
works for them is gonna slap one of our stickers on one of their sets someday.
Please, please. But let's get in, everyone. Let's give it up for the back of
The
the
drape.
dress.
Oh my god. And just the texture of this fabric is so gorgeous. Oh my gosh.
Have you been keeping up with Michael Wilkinson's posts on
I've been
Instagram?
very bad about keeping up with all social media after May got done.
Okay, I'm sure it was real rough.
I know. I was like, why is May? Because all of a sudden it's like the end of our school year for our kids. I'm like, what happened? Oh, May happened. Like,
I mean, you
so
did a month-long Star
I
Wars
know.
like
What the
thing where you had to
heck?
share everyone's
I
thing.
know,
Like,
and
I
I'm sure I
would
missed
die.
so many people all the time, and I was like, and so many people were like, "Oh, we don't expect it." And I was like, "But I expect it. I have expectations for this stuff."
Right. Yeah,
So
no, I was like, there's so many people
yeah,
jumping
which
on
was
this. Like,
amazing. It was
yeah,
so
I
lovely,
know.
and thank you for participating,
Oh, of
and your
course,
dog
yeah,
too,
yeah. And your little dog
and your
too.
little dog too. Yeah. So I've been having a hard time keeping up with social media, but I'll get
Well,
back there.
I would
But
I would go directly to his account.
yes,
If you
I
don't have
will.
time for social media, then
Just
just
look
like
for him. Okay.
yeah, just go
Yeah.
directly to him and take a look at his last, like, I don't know, maybe 10
Perfect.
posts.
Okay.
They're all carousels with a bunch of shots of
Yeah.
and drawings
I
and
have seen
pinups, and
some of
like
them, yeah, because after our
I
last episode, I was like, "I gotta go catch up," so, yeah.
I love sketching in fabric. I love a three-dimensional sketch. Like
Yeah.
I can't really like plan out costumes unless I'm like wearing them. Like I need to
Mhm.
feel what they're like. So that's
Yeah.
why I always like. But really, all of my Instagram is just like good, what I call garment sketching.
Yeah.
And I can't figure it out any other way
No, I
of how to
understand
put things
exactly what
together.
you're talking about,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
But what I love is that I love just seeing like swatches of fabric like over one shoulder, like pinned to a mannequin,
Yeah.
like over one shoulder, and then this fabric like over both shoulders, and that ends up being like a vest and like a shoulder detail and
Mhm.
whatever. It's just amazing. But he did show like close-ups of these fabrics, and they're like
Oh,
um what are they called? Um when it's I'm drawing a blank.
it's alright.
They are um pleated
Oh,
fabrics.
there we go, okay.
They're pleated fabrics,
Your
but they're
hand's doing this,
pleated.
I just
Yeah, they're
yeah.
pleated on the bolt. Like
Yes.
they're
Okay.
it's just like this. This
Yeah.
this fabric, nothing's been done to this fabric. The
Yep.
fabric is just like this, and it's
Yeah,
very
it's
beautiful.
woven
Yeah.
like that. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. I feel like that's always hard
Um
fabric to find sometimes, like, it
yeah,
seems
or
like a very specific
expensive.
yeah, or expensive, yeah,
Yeah,
for
or
sure.
expensive. Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of shimmer to it, and
Yeah. Catches the light
usually those are like
amazingly.
$20 a yard or something.
Yeah, yeah, totally. What was it? Oh, it was the Coven in the Acolyte with their
Oh,
like dark
yes.
purple, and I was like, "Oh, this is a synthetic like accordion pleat, isn't it?" And so many people were like,
Yes.
"That's a synthetic accordion pleat." I'm like, "Darn it!" Like, A, it's expensive, and B, I don't like to sew with it. So
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it must be a nightmare. Yeah, it's
I know,
slipping and
yeah,
sliding all over the
yeah,
place, and then
that's
having to not bunch and
yeah.
pinch in
Oh
different
God,
ways.
sounds like it's not my. I'm not that kind of seamstress. Nope, nope, nope. Oh,
Okay.
Um,
We get some party goers. We see the
mhm.
back that she's taken off. Mon Mothma has taken off the
Yeah.
veil.
Yeah.
I guess that acts sort of like a coat. I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
assuming, and she took
Yeah.
her coat off to be at the party. Open back
Yeah.
on this
More
dress.
of that chain draping is just, it's decadent. I love this
Incredible,
look.
right? Taking a page from you when you did the
Oh,
House
my
of
bag was,
Con.
they're watching us.
There you go. There you go.
There's
That's what I
my,
wanted to say. Then there's this our flag means death.
yeah,
Our
oh
flag
my god,
means death
you're
in,
right.
in the
It's just
middle.
like, it looks
Doesn't it
just
feel
like,
like it?
oh my god, it does. I was thinking it was reminding me of Beauty and the Beast, but then as soon as you
Oh,
said it, I
that
was
as
like,
well.
yes,
Yeah.
it's the English officer's look.
It's the
Flag means
gentleman pirate. What's his name? I forget the name of the character,
oh,
but
Steve
what
Bonnet. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Are you
yeah.
were you talking about Steve, or were you talking about
No, yes,
the
yes,
English
him. Yeah.
guys? Because like the English uniform is very similar too, I feel like.
As well. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh
But
my
great.
god.
The blue and the gold. I mean, it's been
Yep.
throughout, but here we get some more
Yep.
of it. And this great dress, matchy matchy, this
Yeah.
couple, which well, I'm assuming if you're listening to this, you've seen the show, but this
Yeah.
is who Perrin
I
kind of
know.
ends a night with.
That was one of the best little
Scandalous.
blips that we get like
Yeah.
in this show, like one of the best little details, because it was like we didn't need that, but it was so funny. I like chuckled. It's just like,
Everyone was asking, like, I forget the name of this character in the center here with the blue and the
oh
gold,
yeah.
sort of,
Yeah.
pirate look, sort of.
Yeah.
But everyone was like, what happened to him if she's, I don't know.
And maybe it's that he's got somebody else too, like
Yeah.
they're like in this like, well, we're together for like the front, the
Appearances.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're not really together, right? Like,
Right,
yeah.
right, right.
Mhm.
And how, like, how at this echelon, at this sort of upper echelon, like, it's kind of like the royals as well. They're all kind of like rolling around together.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Right, please do.
a little more of Valencinta there. This is a pre-mission word of warning, something terrible happens. But I just wanted to include these. I do believe they're back in their black and grays. We cut back to the gala. I just wanted to show this lady wearing this
I have a
statement
necklace. I swear to
Yeah.
God, it's the same necklace. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yes, I knew it was Star Wars looking.
And the pattern of
Yeah.
the dress or blazer or whatever
Mhm.
this might be that she's wearing, we really only see her from the
Yeah.
neck up.
Mhm.
Beautiful pattern there. It's kind of like a sort of rounded sort of
Mhm.
diamond
Yeah.
pattern. It was very Canto Bite to me
Yes.
when
Yes.
I saw
Very.
this. And obviously at this level, these are these people that are probably going to those casinos
Probably
to gamble.
there. Exactly.
But patterns in Star Wars, I thought also was like it's
Mhm.
always good to see
Yeah, we don't see
because
it often.
we see it here. I do believe we see her dead center, and
Kinda
look
tucked
how
away.
easily in this like amalgam of not only different characters and different costumes, but also different species, how a pattern can get lost.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so we think there's no patterns in Star Wars, and it's like, yeah, they
Mhm.
are. They're just
Yeah.
kind of amongst, a tapestry of,
Yeah. You have to really
these different
look.
things. But very Canto Bite this felt to me.
Yeah.
It's sashes for days.
Sashes.
Let's go. There's Krennic, the diva of all divas.
I know. That smug
the diva
face.
supreme. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
La prima Madonna. Amazing.
Well, it reminds me very of like Victorian era European what am I trying to say? Monarch like portraits that you see. Like kind of like that fitted jacket that they had that was longer. And I feel like I'm like definitely thinking about like Prince Albert and kind of his portrait. Yeah.
And we know Krennic loves a cape.
Yep.
We know he's always wearing his cape. It seems like it might be something that you're supposed to wear when you're a little more dressed up, right? Because someone like Grand Moff Tarkin,
Yeah.
who obviously is his superior, doesn't wear a cape.
No, doesn't wear a cape.
But
Yeah.
Krennic takes advantage and is like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm gonna wear a cape.
I feel like yeah, I feel like Krennic is a little like, you know what? I want to
I'm gonna
look
wear the
good.
cape."
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna wear
I'm
the
gonna wear
cape.
it. Because when we get into the first time we ever see him in Rogue One, he's in this cape, but it's sort of without adornments. Like it doesn't have those
Mm-hmm.
like I'm calling them armor pieces, but
Mm-hmm.
he's got sort of these epaulets, or
Mm-hmm.
what would in this universe would be epaulets, but
Yeah.
they're like sort of these hard pieces that I'm sure is decorative,
Yes.
just decorative. But he doesn't have those on in Rogue One because he's on mission and he's
Yeah.
gonna go do some bad stuff. But here
Yeah.
he's at a party, right?
Yeah.
He's gotta,
He's like, oh, I gotta
yeah,
put on some more bling.
yeah.
Totally.
Also, I believe like I don't know if that is a sash or if it's part of the top because the collar is different. So these are his dress uniform. This is
Mm-hmm.
his dress uniform, right?
Yeah. Clearly. I
Because
would think. I would think this is his upper tier.
yeah, because the
Tier. Yeah.
collar, there's usually just white, but it has like a
Mm-hmm.
black along the collar.
Something on it. Yeah,
I've never
and is
seen
it
that.
like
Yeah.
kind of those pins, or is it kind of another layer? I can't tell from this shot.
Yeah. Also, what I was noticing is that his his band of merry men behind him are all dressed in pretty standard
Mm-hmm.
imperial fare, but they
Yeah.
have the same belts with this white
Mm-hmm.
sort of trim, which
Yeah.
isn't really it isn't standard issue.
Yeah. Well, we don't see it, but again, this is a formal event, and so
No,
I
yeah,
wonder
that's what I'm saying. I
if
think it's
that's
really
why.
interesting that
Yeah.
they have a formal belt,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, okay. She's great. Okay.
Oh yeah.
We get a flash of light, so I
Yeah.
figured I'd
So we can
pull
kind of see the
this
cut,
still.
right?
We could see the cut, we could see the trim,
Yeah.
that sort of you know, leather-ish
Yes.
trim to these
Yeah.
garments that Velcinta and Lucin are wearing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, of course, we don't get color. You get one or the other. Either you can see what it looks like, or
Yeah.
you can see the color of it.
Yeah. Yeah. But never both. They're
But
making us
these are,
work for it.
I know, these are very elaborate. But Wilkinson has been giving us great references for all
Yeah.
this stuff.
Yeah.
And this is the same coat, just what it looks like in the dark, which is
Mm-hmm.
like, it's amazing how many details are then just hidden away
Yeah.
by lighting.
Totally.
So, but they're there, if
Yeah.
not felt, even if not seen.
Yeah.
Um, Gorman looks. These are they're at this mission. So again,
beret.
a flash of light I
Ah.
picked because we could see these costumes. But yes, beret, but also
Beret.
in that bag there next to that man
Mm-hmm.
is Cinta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I knew something bad was going to happen. I had such a horrible feeling. And I was like, no. Specifically for you, I was like, not Santa. Please, not Santa.
Have you watched like the extra content
No.
of Andor? I just recently started and I
Okay.
watched the one, I believe it's the second one. It's called World Building.
Okay.
And they were talking about the relationship between Val and Cinta, and that it was because we get behind the scenes and sort of character motivations and world building in that episode. And they're talking about how I believe their characters are they're meant to be playing it as if like we will, after this, we're going to be together.
Oh yeah,
So
totally. That's how I was like reading those characters too. They had plans.
they had
And that's why
plans.
they talked about like kind of like we could just cut and run. And like wasn't there
Mhm.
kind of like we could just go and just live our lives. And you see so many of the couples having those conversations in Star Wars,
Mhm.
right? And like they felt so real in that they were caught in this cause and this
Mhm.
passion, but yet they're like, well, what about us? Like
Mhm.
yeah, like I loved their story.
It's so tragic
Yeah.
because on the one hand, you get Cinta, who is just so good at what she does,
Mhm.
that there is there another life for her, or is
Mhm.
this her purpose? And then you get
Mhm.
Vel, who is such a valuable asset
Mhm.
as a leader, but also as someone who can travel both worlds, who can,
Hmm.
be down in the mud, but then also at a gala very
Hmm.
easily as a very valuable asset there.
Yeah. I
But
also felt like they were such important characters because, in uh, the Rise of Skywalker, we get that one brief kiss, right? Where it was like, oh my gosh, homosexual representation in Star Wars, holy
yes.
hell. And then it was like this blip. And so then it was like this, well, is that really like, come on. But then we get these layers of these two women, and we
Hmm.
do see them in, like you mentioned, that Val goes between this very proper background that she
Hmm.
comes from, and she goes between this, like, in the mud, you know,
Hmm.
undercover, like, and we get these really rich people, and that's what everyone's been, well, that's what people who are asking for more have been asking for, is
Yeah.
these really well fleshed out characters, and that's them. um
Yeah. And
it
then
was
it
very,
feels
very
like
cool.
real love, right?
Yeah.
Because
Oh, they're so
like I was saying,
believable.
earlier, that like that little like,
Yeah.
she was her
Yeah.
breath was taken
Hmm.
away for a
Right.
split second when she
Yes.
spotted Cinta, like
Yeah, you
the
can
woman she
feel it.
loves.
Yeah,
Yeah. She
you
was
can
like
feel it.
a bit nervous, a bit excited, a bit
Yeah.
like completely in love,
Yeah,
which
and
is great.
I love the juxtaposition of their characters, and that comment, the Venn diagram of them, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, you two come from these different backgrounds, but I can see what brought you together, and I can see why you
Hmm.
love each other's passions, and like, hell yeah, she's cute, and so is she. Like, good
It's
for
the yin
you,
and
you know?
yang. It's the
Yeah,
yin and
totally.
yang.
Yes,
That's
it is.
why I
Oh
thought that
man,
was like such a
yeah,
beautiful visual
yeah.
metaphor to
They
put
might be
those
one
two
of like the
characters.
best relationships in the Star Wars, right? And they took it away from us.
I know. I
But
know.
I mean, they were
What a
such
moment though,
powerful characters. Yes, I know, right?
because
Yeah.
Val's speech to this this
Mhm.
sad little boy
Yes.
um was so powerful,
Mhm. Yeah.
which shows that, which I think is the without getting too heady, which I think is the aim of the show, is to show all of these small moments that lead to
Mhm.
this like giant rebellion,
Yeah.
right? That because this happened, and because Vel told him, like, you have to wear this now. This
Mhm.
is a part of you forever. Like,
Mhm.
you did this. Like, you have to, like, answer for this every day of your life, right?
Mhm.
In the next arc, which won't get into now, but in the next arc, he ends up saving um Wilman and Cassian,
Mhm. Yeah.
and he's like now like a hardened fighter, and
Yeah.
maybe this was his catalyst moment,
Yeah. Yeah. Now he's serious. Now he's actually,
yeah.
he knows what it's about.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
he's
There she
yeah,
is.
he's getting yelled at.
Yep.
He's getting yelled at, and he is crying in the foreground.
Yeah.
Such a I mean, I would hope that someone would say these words at my funeral, just amazing. Um,
Ah, getting dressed up.
Luthen and Clea were also at this gala.
Mhm.
Um, what happened? They have a listening device in this person's
Yes.
home. I think this was at
In this
the pirate
statue,
guy's
right?
home. Yeah.
Yes. What's his name? I'm looking it up. So I
Yeah,
can't
what's his
remember his
name?
name.
Our flag meets death, the gentleman pirate.
Oh, Steve bought it, but like, what's the Star Wars
What?
character's
Oh,
name?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
I have
yeah.
no idea.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
I
looking at.
forget. But
Wonder
they were at
Twins.
his house. What I love about this is that in this episode in particular, we get these pairs. We get Vel and Cinta, we just talked about. We get Luthen and Clea, who will later learn how their connection. And it's, well, at least for these next two, it's sort of a moment of respite. It didn't happen for Val and Cinta, but they're walking out of this gala, and Luthen says, like, "Oh, I should have just killed Krennic while I was up there."
Right?
And it
My
must be
gosh, shoulda,
so
coulda, woulda.
infuriating. Yeah, it must be so infuriating to sort of travel sometimes in the same circles, but not be able to strike. And I'm sure it's because what would that do, right? You can throw a brick through a window, but like, is that the
Yeah,
actual like most
yeah,
strategic way to do a thing, right?
yes.
from this we get, I'm sure we cut right to Bix's redemption, or not
Yes.
redemption, her revenge, right? Her
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
vengeance. This is the scientist, technician, whoever this
Mm-hmm.
is that works for the Empire. He is a torture
Mm-hmm.
artist,
Mm-hmm.
and she's going to get him.
And this is
Um,
what we see, like that one clip in that preview, and we're like,
mhm.
"That's Bix. That's her. She's
Yep.
after somebody."
What I thought was interesting, and again, like I'm sure these choices are for a reason. I don't think anything in this show is done like by chance.
Mm-hmm.
She's wearing Cassian's coat,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, and I just thought that was like it's so great because it's almost like I don't not to take anything away from Bix, of course, but like almost like going in with like a comfort blanket, like going in with
Mm-hmm.
an extra layer of armor. Like
Yeah.
I know he can do this. If I
Yeah.
wear his coat, I can do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Or even kind of because they're even kind of here, put this on.
Yes.
You're incognito now. Let's go do it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you're not yourself anymore. Let's go.
Exactly. Here's your
Yeah.
shield. Like
Yeah.
here's a way to maybe remove yourself
Mm-hmm.
from the task at hand, so you'll be able to
Mm-hmm.
do it without sort of thinking like, oh my God, it's like, what does this mean for me? Right?
Yeah.
It's almost like here, act as I would, right?
Mm-hmm.
She tortures him. Great.
Yep.
I feel like this was her big this was her big arc in this. Her trauma stems from this torture that she underwent in season 1. So good. Yeah, here she is
Yep.
wearing his coat. It's confirmed. There it
Yeah.
is. Big
I
for
love
her.
it.
Love
I
it.
do love that coat.
She shoots that man down. Low level Imperial.
Walking in like a
And that's
boss.
it. This is it. And then from here, just for context, this is then that shot that we see. She walks out of here. She joins Cassian. Cassian hits a detonator. Big explosion behind them.
Mm-hmm. I loved that moment. I was just like, woo, yeah.
Yeah. So I think what she did, which was kind of amazing, she went in. She waited for this technician scientist guy in the elevator,
Mm-hmm.
right? He gets in. They go, she puts him in the rig, tortures him, makes her exit, and then they blow him up.
Blow the whole thing. They're like, oh, and there's all your equipment and all
that's
your,
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And because they could have just blown up, but no.
Yeah.
I'm sure they had that conversation. She's like, no, I want him.
Yeah. We got to get rid of the whole thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So that is What a Festive Evening. Which was 3 different evenings, which I thought was great that they did that. Yeah. And that's our season.
Arc.
That's the end of the second arc. That's episode 6 done and dusted. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Jeez. I keep saying it. I need to go back and like rewatch it. We have a lot of flying to do this summer, a lot of long trips, and so I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna sit down and do season 2 on the airplanes again. Oh, I forget my iPad fixed. Oh my God, you guys, my iPad is
oh no,
something's wrong with it. I know. But whatever.
Toss those extras, those extras, and it's on Disney Plus. It's sort of their episodes, and then there's a tab that has extras. It's very like if you don't look for it, you'll completely miss it because it's not in the episodes.
Okay, cool.
So you gotta just go to the extras, and it's they're good.
Sweet.
They're good. You get really good. I should be pulling stuff from there, but CapThat doesn't have those.
Okay.
But you get much clearer looks at some of the costumes because it's behind the scenes stuff, so it's not like graded and lit. It's just kind of bright as day. But that's
which is what we're always yearning for. Just give me some natural daylight, like head to toe. Like, come on. Yeah.
I know, but it's insane.
I love it. So,
but
what was your favorite look from this arc?
I
now have to think of that same answer.
Yeah, I think I always default to Cinta. I think her walking into the cafe look I think is great.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, I talked about this with Zach, but I love Luthen's like signature like gallerist
Mm-hmm.
look, which is
Mm-hmm.
this very deep sort of plum
Mm-hmm.
and navy look. We've seen it in season one and whatever. We've seen it time and time again, but that's
Yeah.
his signature gallerist look. I think
Yeah.
is a beautiful costume. What were yours?
God, it's so hard, right? It's so hard. I mean, that this dress that we just talked about Mon Mothma, it really was striking.
Yeah.
It definitely it took so many things up a notch with the back, with the fabric, being that accordion and just that shimmer and just the cutouts and the draping, and it was like more and more and more, but it didn't overpower her at the same
Right.
time because she is a very tall and has the beautiful angles to her face, so she can wear, I think, um, kind of some extravagant things, but I feel like she would also get lost in too much detail as well.
Hmm.
And I think that just that was a beautiful cut for her. What
Yeah.
else? God. I mean, I know that we had talked in the last episode about like Deirdre's at home looks,
Oh
which were
yes.
super like
I forgot about those.
just
Yeah, those are so good.
it just tells you more about the character, right? And
Yeah.
you hate her because she's a bad guy, real bad guy, but
Hmm.
her styling, again, it reminds me of like Carolyn Bessette Kennedy, her
Hmm.
style, and so like I thought that was she was just so well styled.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Um, yeah, I mean, there's so many. I mean, I love that we've seen these tank tops because it
Yeah.
just makes me happy.
That's
But
good.
and like the gore fashion and just how
Very
how how it
distinct,
really
right? Very
it's very
different.
distinct, and it really connects us to a time and place in
Hmm.
Earth's history so
Hmm.
easily, but it's just that slant enough that you're like, oh, but the colors and the lines I think are just so beautiful. Um, yeah, like I loved a lot of it, but those are some of the highlights for me.
Yeah, I think Tony Gilroy even says in those extras, in
Mhm.
the one specifically is called World Building, when he's talking about Gorman,
Mhm.
he mentions the fact, something to the effect of, I'm not quoting, but paraphrasing, something to the effect that people would pick up different eras of Earth, and that's what we were talking about, where it's
Yeah,
all these different jumbles
yeah,
of different eras to make this kind of alien, uh, you know, otherworldly kind of
yeah,
place. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, they did a wonderful job.
Yeah.
Well,
Amazing.
yeah. Well, Billy, where can folks find you?
I'm at Billy Maddox. Come find me. I'm on Instagram. Just say hi. Come say hi.
Sweet. Yeah. I am Kate Ryder at One Scavenger's Wardrobe on Instagram. And if you come say hi and I don't respond, I'll get to you, I promise. And we're both at Off the Rack Rebellion with periods in between the words on Instagram.
Yeah. And I'd like to thank the Dad Batch and the Dad Batch Network now with 3
Yes.
shows.
Woo!
Go check out the boys and what they do. Thank you so much as always to Raimi,
Mhm.
for guidance, just in life,
Yeah. Yeah.
Raimi, just in life
Just for
also,
being
but on the
you.
pod, yeah, but also for being our producer, but
Yeah.
also he's bestowed a lot of information and stuff to me, so which is great.
Mhm.
and and remember that a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away can be right here and right now.